Hi everyone, so I know I've been missing for a little while. I put out that first video and dipped basically. The reason for that is because of the extreme technical difficulties we experienced both while filming and editing. Filming is okay, but editing is a whole other story. It's just excruciatingly slow and painful on the computer that we have available to us right now to do that on. So I'm just gonna save up until I'm a bit more financially stable and in a better spot and finance a more powerful computer. They'll be a lot better for editing, and I can play video games on it and even maybe stream. I don't really know. So I'm just doing this little informal video that hopefully I can just edit on my phone, just so I have something out there, because I actually really enjoy doing this. So it kind of sucked once I realized shit, I don't have what I really need to be able to do this to its full potential. So I'm going to bring you guys on this journey of me transforming my hair. As you saw in my last video, it was a really bright, deep green color. And now this is where I've gotten into, and then I am going to turn it red. And in the process, we're going to talk about things that scare the shit out of me as a child.
Naughty.
So this isn't going to be a full-on tutorial or anything like that, because I don't really know what I'm doing. It's been a lot of trial and error, things like that, what works and what doesn't work. I'm just going to be kind of telling you what my process and my thought process and what I've done so far. So what I've done to fade this is I've washed my hair with Dawn dish soap numerous times, which helped a lot. I did hot oil treatments, which was the most beneficial. I did the vitamin C treatment, baking soda, and one bleach bath, where you can kind of see my hair has gone I got a bit of my grow out, which I'm kind of regretting not bringing it all the way up, because that would have actually been a good idea if I did it intentionally. Oh well, but hopefully that actually helps a little bit, since my roots, your very roots, process faster than your hair, so I'm hoping that helps make things come out more evenly and at the same time. So yeah, you're going to keep on watching, join me, and hopefully I don't melt my hair off, which I've worked really hard not to do. And this is also why it's been such a slow process. It's because I wanted to keep the integrity of my hair. My hair was basically white before I dyed it green and was pretty unhealthy, but then since I started this past year of dyeing my hair a fashion color, I've spent that time repairing and making my hair in a more healthy and maintainable spot. I'm not trying to lose too much integrity. And like I said, I've already done one bleach bath. I think another will do the job and be ready for dye, and then I'll go over my roots. I'm going to section out my hair, and then we'll start talking about stuff. Okay, so here we are. I am back with all my hair section. I kind of do it in fours, front section, back section, divided in half. It's a huge pain in the ass because the way I have my hair, because I do the whole halo thing. I feel I should move on just because of how fucking difficult it is. And as you can see, it's impossible to get perfect, because I've never had my hair professionally done, because it costs way too much money with great risk of it getting fucked up. And my whole thought is well, if it's potential that I'm fucked up, I'd rather fuck it up myself. On that note, so in case you're wondering what was in my hair, I had dyed my hair with Good Dye Young's Cowabunga 2 or 3 times, and then I did XMondo's Super Green. And then the last time I did my hair, I just combined both my leftover remaining Good Dye Young Cowabunga with XMondo Green, put it together, which was a great combo because they're both very nourishing hair dyes. It's kind of more they call it a hair color treatment or something weird like that. It's supposed to be a hair mask but with color, which is awesome, and it made my hair feel great, and it also lasted super duper well. So this time around I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to be mixing Good Dye Young's Rock Lobster, I think it's called, and then XMondo's Super Red. And some things I have with me, I'm going to be doing a bleach bath with, this stuff out of the Ion Brightening Powder, Ammonia-Free or whatever, 30 Developer, Shampoo. I'm going to just use a clarifying shampoo because it seemed like that helped. And then I got this stuff that's like Ion, Absolute Perfection, yada yada yudu. This, and it totally is supposed to be like a fake for Olaplex, and it has like a color sealer, and I found it to be really awesome and actually made my hair feel really good after I did the bleach bath, which normally would not be the case. So I'm going to be using that and mix that in my bleach today as well. And I'm going to preface this video, so I'm just going to be talking about shit that like scared the fuck out of me as a kid. So this list will be all over the place of stuff that makes sense and doesn't make sense, etc. I've always had like an affinity for things like scary and spooky since I was a kid. So yeah, there'll be stuff on here that makes absolutely no fucking sense as to why it would scare me, and then why it makes sense that it did. Just always kind of been the thing I've been around. I've always been curious and had like some of an affinity for shit that was scary, and then on top of that, my parents were always watching scary shit, and I always was like curious and like drawn in of like, ooh, what's that, you know? And it's going to be a combination of like, you know, different sorts of media, kid shows, not kid shows, YouTube, since I did grow up in the generation of watching YouTube videos and YouTube series, etc. Things for kids, things meant for kids, things that aren't meant for kids at all, kind of you name it. We're going to talk about it if it scared me. First up on our list of scary things is the Rugrats. aka what I like to call the CPS files. Scared the shit out of me growing up. There's episodes that, you know, of course were conventionally just normal, regular kids TV. Easy, fun going, blah, blah, blah. And then ones that were just absolutely horrifying, whether they intended to or not. I can't really determine what's like the right way to do bleach bath, because some people are like, use equal parts shampoo, or like the amount of shampoo you would use on your head. So I'm just using the amount of shampoo I use on my head, because I did equal parts shampoo, did like nothing. So this one looks like it got that nice like creamy thick texture that I enjoy. And then I'm gonna start with the back, since I don't really know the science behind it. I think it has something to do with like sun exposure. I don't really know, don't ask me, but I just know that the back of your head processes quicker than, or slower than the front of your head. So we're doing that first. So the first episode of the Rugrats I'm going to talk about is the episode where Angelica is scared that her parents are going to have like another baby. Angelica thinks that her parents are going to have a baby and like replace her or whatever. That episode's scary as fuck, because she has like I can't remember if it's like a dream or hallucination, whatever the fuck, of like the giant baby like chasing everybody around and like ruining lives, and like everybody's like starving and shit. And another episode is when the grandpa is supposed to be babysitting Tommy, but then Tommy gets fucking kidnapped. And you know, there's like the villains, the burglars, the baby snatchers. I don't really remember like how he got kidnapped or what, but they're trying to do it for ransom, because they're like, the rubies, we're doing this for the rubies or whatever. That episode, and like nobody even knows that it happened, it just like did. It was just like, you know, some shit, you know. Another honorable mention to, I don't fucking remember what was actually happening in this episode other than this happening. And of course, this fever dream ass show, when there is an episode surrounding the characters having a fever dream, that shit's scary. And I'm talking about like the episode when I can't remember if they're both sick, but Tommy and Chucky are having a sleepover, and Tommy's sick, and he's quite literally having like a fever dream and is like sick as fuck, and like he's like hallucinating, everything's like weird, like Stu and Dee Dee are like the sun and the moon, or like maybe the stars and the moon, I can't remember. That shit was scary. So was the Boppo episode. Another favorite that scared the fuck out of me, Tommy and Chucky were up like hella late watching like scary movies, and I'm like, you can't do that, you're a fucking baby. And then it was like some like robot horror movie, and Tommy thinks that, well, he like convinces Chucky that this is true, but Tommy thinks that his like dad's a robot. That one's pretty good. Another very scary episode is when Angelica convinces Chucky that the world would be like a better place without him and he should like run away or something like that. First off, fuck Angelica. She was such a fucking bitch all the time. But yeah, so she convinces Chucky that like the world would be like a better place without him. All this terrible shit. And then he like wants to run away and stuff. And then he has like his like guardian angel come. Or a guardian angel comes and like talks to him and like shows him what like the world would be like without him. And like there's like some like punkers, they're all like troublemakers and shit, but just like whatever. I actually like didn't really care about that part. I think like the part that was like disturbing is we show like Chucky's like dad and he's like hallucinating, like absolutely like, off his rocker, insane, and like playing with like sock puppets and like they're like arguing and all that. That shit was just kind of disturbing, especially considering like I know his like wife's dead, or like that's like implied, or that might be an actual thing in the show, I'm not sure. My next topic, which is Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. That really scared me. Granted, I think I was like a bit old for it to scare me, if that makes sense. I was like 14 or so by the time I saw that. I feel like it probably shouldn't have like creeped me out as much as it did, but it really did. It gave me just that really like unnerved, unsettling feeling, especially because like I've always loved puppets, so seeing them like be like that was distressing in a way, you know. Oh, it was pretty spooky. Like I don't know. Just because it had like, well, we've all seen the video. It just has that like juxtaposition between like kids like learning about creativity or like love or whatever it was. There's like various topics between like the vibe of like just a kids learning show and then something more sinister. Like there would often be like, you know, like kind of like existential horror going on, along with like, I don't know, it just turned dark, disturbing, sometimes even like violent. Especially when like I just remember that clip and they start getting all creative or whatever the fuck, and everybody's like dancing, and it goes from like the puppets to like people in full-size costumes, which was fucking weird and I did not like it. And then it went from that, and then there's like clips of them like making things, but then like there's like a heart beating and like organs and stuff like that. That really tripped me out when I was younger. I did not care for it. Next on our list is one that I feel like is like unfair to include, but I'm gonna include anyways, although it was meant to be scary for kids. It just doesn't feel right to include for some reason. But Courage the Cowardly Dog. Its intent was to be scary, and it definitely was. And so that shit's still scary to this day. Some of my choice episodes are, you know, the Return the Slab one, of course, just because that like image was just really haunting. There's an episode, I don't really remember what was going on with it other than there was like a harvest moon or something like that, and then there's like a floating like head in Courage's basement trying to tell him that he needs to leave. That one was pretty scary to me. Freaky Fred was awesome. The like demented, borderline like possessed acting like barber who was very reminiscent of like a serial killer or something like that. I'm pretty sure he was like his character likeness was like basically loose on some killer, which one escapes me. And he has the undying compulsion to cut hair that he cannot control, and that being including Courage's hair. The Mask. That episode was really scary to me because first off, like, the main protagonist character, whatever, was really spooky looking. And then, I don't know, when you're a kid, when, like, you watch a show that's, like, some dark and spooky themes, you can still have, like, the sense of when it's, like, more dark and whatever than you're used to, or than what like you're used to being exposed to. This episode had like really dark themes of like domestic violence and like abuse, prejudice, I mean, all that kind of shit, which is like a lot for a kid. I feel like it's a really good watch as like an adult because of how dark it is, and it's still like super scary and stands up. Basically, there's like as it goes, same formula as always. There's a house guest, uninvited, that just kind of shows up, just a stranger, wearing a mask and like a costume. Her name is Kitty. Like the vibes whatsoever. And tries to like warn everybody, being like, no, like how he always does, but nobody listens to him. Her name's Kitty, and Muriel invites her in for dinner and decides to like, you know, let her tell her story kind of thing. And her story, she explains that she escaped like being a bad situation with like a bad man, you know, and that being like this dog that was abusing her lover. They don't say that, but they're definitely like a couple. He didn't like how close they were to each other and all this stuff, because that was his girlfriend, yada yada yada. And the girlfriend's name is Bunny, who is a bunny, by the way. Very cute. He's like abusing Bunny, and you know it, and like it feels like too real and all this stuff. And then when nobody's around, Kitty, she has this resentment for all dogs because of that. And so whenever nobody's around, she will abuse and hit Courage, and it's really fucked up. And just, yeah, so Courage, being the sweetie he is, decides to help reunite Kitty and Bunny, and then also get all this shit off his hair, you know, make it not his problem. So I washed and dried my hair. Like I said, I was scared, so I did a test run and came out looking pretty fucking red. So I'm gonna separate it out, and then I'm going to apply the dye. I'm gonna mix equal parts, I think, the XMondo and then the Good Dye Young. This test was only done with the Good Dye Young. The only reason I'm really mixing those is because I have both, and because I really like the lasting power of the combination of them. And then I'm gonna use this. This came with my like little kit from Ion. That Absolute Perfection Color Sealer helps restore moisture and smoothness while protecting hair and strengthening hair that's been chemically treated. So I'm gonna use this. Hopefully it helps solve my dryness. It's always hard for me to tell what state my hair's in before I dye it, because with both these, the directions are to wash your hair, dry it, then apply it dry. And since you don't have that like conditioner in, for me, it makes my hair feel like shit if I don't have the conditioner. And okay, continuing on with things that traumatized me as a child. So the reason I want to bring this one up is just to see if anybody else, if like anybody knows what I'm talking about, because I feel like I haven't been able to figure out what this was really. I just have like a memory of like seeing just like this clip from how I was like, you know, like outside of my room when my dad was like watching TV or like a movie or something. And I just remember seeing this clip, and it like kind of like fucking with me. I only saw it for like, you know, like a second, so I don't really like know what to think. But so the clip was of like this lady in like a grocery store, and also in like at home, like looking in her own kitchen, like in her like fridge, and like there's like these like claymation, like stop motion, like vegetables, like calling her like a bitch and like harassing her and stuff, and like nobody could see it except for like her. Does anybody like know what I'm talking about? Because that shit like fucked me up when I was like a child. I was just like, this is horrifying. Alright, let's begin. Something I like so badly want to talk about too is Marble Hornets. I haven't watched that shit since it was like new, you know? But I just remember that scared the shit out of me. I was like 12. I was like in middle school when that was really popular. I watched like the whole series, or at least everything that was up at that point, religiously with my brother. Also, you can blame my brother for a lot of this like childhood trauma through media, especially the YouTube stuff, which I'm gonna delve more into once we get there, because he showed me all this stuff when I was like way too young to see it. but that's what older siblings are there for, right? It was like our bonding, you know, we'd bond over YouTube videos and scare each other and get all creeped out. He's like 5 years older than me. So to him it's probably more goofy, all this stuff. But a lot of it scared me. But yeah, Marble Hornets, I've been wanting to rewatch it, revisit the series. I haven't seen it. And I've also like haven't seen a lot of like the newer like episodes. Next up on our roster, still pertaining to YouTube, is I Feel Fantastic. What's her name? Like Tara the robot or whatever. The thing I think is really funny is that like I know like there's like the creepypasta shit when it comes to that that's like supposed to make it scarier. I'll have everything linked down below for YouTube stuff, but I Feel Fantastic, like the thing that I think is funny is like there's you know, the creepypasta of like, because you know it's the robot singing and it's wearing people clothes or whatever, and it's supposed to be all like, oh blah blah blah, like because it shows like the robot singing and the people clothes in like, you know, all sorts of weird positions saying I feel fantastic or whatever the fuck. It's creepy robot voice. And the creepypasta legend says that, because there's that clip and then it ends with the camera panning. Oh no. The camera panning to like a place like the woods kinda. To like a dirt pile, and like the legend is, oh, that's where the person whose clothes that is, who is tortured and murdered by the film creator, is buried. But when I saw this, I didn't even hear the creepypasta. I just saw the video and was like, nope, that's a nope for me. And also that video is like creepy enough where I don't think we need like a story behind it or anything like that. Like that shit's just like unsettling enough on its own. The whole like uncanny valley stuff really like creeps me out. It still kind of does, but like that song fucking slaps though. And then next internet thing I want to talk about is Candle Cove. That was also a creepypasta that had like a accompanying YouTube video. If you've watched Channel Zero, you're probably familiar with it, which by the way, I could not get into that show. Everybody and their mom was like recommending it to me, like I think it might have been a Shudder original. I'm not sure. But it was pertaining to like each episode or each season, I think, was focused like on like a different creepypasta. Channel Zero I wasn't a fan of. Let me know if it like gets better, but I watched like the first like episode or two of that shit and I was like, yeah, I'm not into this. This is like pretty boring and just like shittily made. I couldn't like get myself to pay attention for like the life of me either to it. So maybe it's me and not the show, but yeah, anyways, Candle Cove is the creepypasta is that like some dude basically like his mom is talking to him about how he used to just watch the Fuzzies on the TV for like an hour and say it was his favorite show called Candle Cove. A video that like accompanies like the story. It shows like a bunch of like puppets along with like clips of like children like crying, and the audio just like children crying and like screaming. Cuts to like the Fuzzies and then quick flash on the screen of like a person in like a bear mask. It looks so fucking scary. Me and my brother used to try and make it a game to try to like pause it right on the spot so we can see it well. Also, I'm just going to give honorable mentions. I feel like these like didn't really fit actually on the list, but to Chucky from the Child's Play series. That shit scared the shit out of me growing up, and so did The Strangers. I know I seem pretty fucking obsessed with that movie, don't I? But like I saw that movie in the theaters when it came out, and I think I was like 2008. So I was 10 or like 11 when that came out, so yeah, that kind of fucked with me because that movie's, I maybe that's why I like it so much now. I think that movie's so real life scary. It's because I saw it when I was so young. It also helped like kickstart like my love for that shit by like being truly scared by something. I don't know when I'm gonna be able to get my computer. It kind of just depends on how things go. with money and whatever else, but I'm kind of, I don't know, I think it'd be kind of fun. I don't know how many of you guys like watch like streamers or anything like that, but I think it might be fun to like, I don't know, I can like stream and we could have like a watch party of like a spooky YouTube night or like unsettling shit, you know what I mean? Throw it back to how like, you know, you just sleepovers back in like when I was a kid, you know, in middle school. I think that'd be really fun. I just want to say, if you don't want to be an idiot like me, I recommend, if I thought about this, I would have done it. I like definitely thought about doing it, but then I forgot putting coconut oil around the rim of your face and things like that so it doesn't dye your face. I'm gonna be pretty red after this because I forgot.
2 weeks later.
Hi everyone. So it has been about 3 weeks or so since that original segment that you guys had just watched of me going through the process. I have washed my hair about 2 or 3 times since then. I can't recall the exact amount. And in the meantime, my hair was feeling kind of dry. So I did do a protein / like glossing treatment. I used the XMondo Super Gloss. And I really love the way it made my hair look. You can see in like my natural hair how it looks. My hair was feeling just a bit dry. So I felt like it was necessary to do something a little bit extra. I absolutely love the way the color turned out. I am like living my fullest like 90s like dream right now. It's giving me extreme like 90s like new metal like ginger snaps like kitty-esque vibes, and I absolutely love it. I might stick to the red a little bit longer than I anticipated originally. I was like, oh, I'll do this, use up my dye, and go orange, but I honestly didn't think that this color would suit me that well. It was just more of a means of a transition to get to orange, but I really like it. I might stick with it for a hot minute. However, you can't really see on camera, but this undersection is more of a deeper blood red than this one. This has already faded a little bit. So I'm thinking I might go over the front section with like a kind of like a berry shade to kind of just like make it match and bring some more depth back up here. We'll see though. I think I'm going to. So yeah, this has been the little hair journey. Thank you guys for joining me on it. I absolutely love this color. I am having so much fun with it. So down in the comments there, let me know if there's any movies you'd like to see me review in the future, or if you want to discuss anything I talked about in this video. Did it scare you too, or anything like that, or if there's anything that you saw as a kid that scared the fuck out of you too. Let's talk about it in the comments. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And this is me. I am Ellie, looks from the crypt, and I am out.